So, I recently entered another Super Mario 64 ROM hack collaboration a few weeks ago. Now, the last collaboration I was in did not go so well for the most of it, even though it turned out great in the end, so I was hesitant at first to enter this new collab. But, the premise interested me enough, and the organization seemed to be made with Dog Collab's shortcomings in mind, so I decided to enter. The collaboration is run by my good friend Rover, and called Mario in the Multiverse. The premise is that Mario will enter a bunch of different levels from various video games, collecting abilities from each level that can be used across the entire game. The ability system was even partially inspired off of my in-progress major hack, the Patchmaker's Workshop, as Rover was given a very early build of the game, and thought that the ability system would work very well in this kind of collaboration. Anyways, we were all told to pick a game to base our stage and ability off of, and I got to thinking about some of my favorite games. It did not take me long to settle on my favorite game of all time, Kirby Super Star Ultra. After all, the game has a ton of abilities, and the movement and level design are top-notch. It would fit right in with Super Mario 64. The next question I had to ask myself was a bit more tricky. Which of the 24 standard copy abilities would I pick? The first thing I did was remove ones that either wouldn't work well in Super Mario 64, or wouldn't be interesting or iconic as a versatile ability. That left me with 8 abilities to choose from. Almost immediately, I dropped Ninja as a possibility, since its whole deal with clinging to walls and moving fast would easily break other people's levels. Sword, though an iconic ability, was the next to go, since its hat was already a reference to another game, and I didn't feel like it referenced Kirby alone. I removed Ice, since I already have a similar freezing ability in the Patchmaker's Workshop, and I removed Hammer because it was a bit simple to design a level around for my tastes. Parasol, though one of my favorites, would have also broken other levels with its passive gliding ability. That left me with Fire, Cutter, and Beam. All of them are iconic abilities in their own right, and I could easily see each of them working within SM64. It was a hard choice, but I dropped Beam because of its reliance on dashing in its attacks, which does not exist in Super Mario 64 and would be hard to add to Mario's kit. And between Fire and Cutter, I thought Cutter would be the more interesting choice. So on April 29th, I locked into the collab with Cutter Mario as my ability. I'll save you the talk about development, since it went as smoothly as I could have hoped for. Instead, I'll showcase each of the parts of the ability here. Starting out, when equipping this ability, Mario will don the iconic Cutter hat, which turned out great. Pressing B will throw a cutter, which thanks to an environment map texture, looks nice and shiny. You can also throw one in the air, replacing your jump kick, but still giving you the exact same upward momentum. If a cutter blade flies into Mario on its way back, Mario will catch it with some particles. If it misses, it'll keep flying backward until it hits a wall or peters out. Cutter blades can be used to attack enemies and break boxes as well. Now, if I had based the ability off of an earlier Kirby game like Kirby's Dream Land 3, this is where the ability would end, because in that game, abilities only had one attack. But, Superstar in its remake had extensive movesets for each ability, and I wanted to capture that in Mario's moveset as well. If you're moving forward at maximum speed and press B, instead of diving, Mario will perform the Cutter Dash, giving him a big boost in momentum, and slicing through any enemies in the way. The Cutter Dash can be cancelled into a dive rollout for easier movement. In the air at maximum speed, instead of diving, Mario will do the Cutter Sweep. It's similar to a dive, but trades vertical mobility for speed, making Mario reach the ground farther, but faster. These abilities give Cutter some nice movement capabilities. Finally, if Mario gets close to an enemy and presses B, instead of throwing a cutter, he'll do a melee slashing attack. Pressing B a few more times will combo it into the iconic final cutter, with sick new animations and visual effects. This attack was personally what made me choose cutter. I just thought it would look super cool, and it definitely did not disappoint once created. Overall, the ability is a blast to use, making me feel like I'm playing Kirby with its new features. I cannot wait to design a stage around it based off of Kirby Super Star Ultra, so look forward to seeing that stage when it's done. Like and subscribe for future ROM hacking content. And if you haven't already, join my Discord to see some sneak peeks at my future projects. Until next time,